I know I've mentioned this before, but I do love a blue sky. You're at year 6? Welcome to today's maths lesson. Now, yesterday we looked at addition and subtraction. Today we are going to be looking at multiplication and division. So I'm going to get into my screen to show you the methods that we're using. It's all about using appropriate methods. Year 6, I harped on about it yesterday, but there were still some of you that just sent in answers. I want to see the methods that you are using. Okay, without that, for all I know, you've just used a calculator, and we're not going to learn by doing that. So, year 6, let's get into my screen and I can talk you through it. Okay, so like I said, we are looking at using appropriate methods. I'm going to mention it once or twice. Methods, I want to see them. So, I don't know what accent that was, but let's crack on. We're going to use multiplication and division problems. So, some of the questions might look like this, 6 times 4. Well, that, a lot of us will just know our number facts and know that that is 24, okay? Some of us might need to go 6, 12, 18, 24, and if that's you, then that's okay. But some of us know that. This one, 2,700 divided by 30. Well, some of us are thinking, well, that looks a lot like 27 divided by 3, so I'm going to use a multiplication triangle. I would be doing for that. Something like this, some of us might use a formal written method, but some of us might go, well, actually, I'm timesing by 4, so I can double it and double it again. Or some of us might go, well, 200 times by 4 is 800, 40 times by 4 is 160, and 3 times 4 is 12, and then put them together to find your answer. Different methods, but there are methods, and I want to see them. And then for something like this, we're going to have to be thinking about key facts and all that kind of stuff. So lots of things for us to think about today, and it's all about using the appropriate methods, which I want to see. Okay, I want to see them. So let's do some quick ones. If we get problems like this, then like we say, 6 times 4, most of us will just know this. It's 24. 45 divided by 9, most of us will probably just know it. Know that it's 5. But if you don't, you can count up in 9s and get there. 5 times 30, most of us will just be able to know that that's 6. Or we might have to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 and realise you've done 6 lots. And then 42 divided by 7, and many of us will just know that the answer is 6, but some of us might have to count up in 7s. Either way, I want to see the question and just the answer. So questions like that, I would expect to see just an answer. Questions like this though, I wouldn't expect to see just an answer, because I think for a lot of this, you're going to have to use some kind of jottings. Now for this first one, and I know a lot of us think jottings so that I'm not good at maths. It's not true. The best mathematicians use jottings. And some of us think jottings slow me down. Again, not really true. Okay, let's just time how long it takes me to do this first one. And I'm going to start the timer now. It's an imaginary timer. You can time in your head. But 60 times 40 looks a lot like 6 times 4. And I know that 6 times 4 is 24, but in this one, that 6 is a 60, so that's 10 times bigger, so I need to make that 10 times bigger. And that needs to be 10 times bigger, so I need to make that 10 times bigger. My answer is 2,400. Now, I don't think that added much time at all to what I would have done if I'd have tried to do it all in my head. And it's going to be more accurate. Okay, multiplication triangles all the way. Love them. This one looks a lot like 36 divided by 4, so I'm going to put a multiplication triangle. And do 36 divided by 4, and I know that 36 divided by 4 is 9. But in this case, well, that's not a 4, it's a 40, so that needs to be 10 times bigger, so I'm going to make that 10 times bigger. And then that's not a 3,600, it's a 360, so I need to make that 10 times bigger. So I'm going to make that 10 times bigger. Okay, so my answer is 90. Next one, 50 times by something equals 3. Now that is a weird one, but what I could maybe do to help me work that out is 5 times something equals 30, and I know that 5 times 6 equals 30, but in this one, that needs to be 10 times, that needs to be 10 times bigger, so I'm going to make that 10 times bigger, but then that needs to be 100 times smaller, so I'm going to make that 100 times smaller. And there's my answer. Tricky. Got a printer going off in the background. We'll crack on. 4.9 divided by 7 looks to me like a lot like 49 divided by 7, which I know is 7, but that's got to be 10 times smaller. So that one's got to be 10 times smaller. So my answer is 0.7. Straightforward? I think so. Tell you what, I'm going to move away from the printer. Okay? Let's move. We're moving. Oh, the printer's finished. Let's move back. Little tour of the house there. Carrying on. Questions like this. So if we're timesing by 4, yes, I can use multiplication column method, but actually sometimes if we're timesing by 4, we can just double it and double it again. So if I have 114, if I double that, that's going to get me to 200, and then double it again, it'll get me to 400. That double will get me to 20, and then doubled again will get me to 200. That doubled will get me to 8, and then doubled again will get me to 16. So my answer is, well, 400 whoa, I've gone wrong there. Hopefully some of you spotted that. Double 20 is not 200, crazy guy. It's 40. So my answer is 400 and then 40 add 10, 56. I could have got that with a column method, but didn't need to. Next one, 324 divided by 4. Well, quick way of dividing by 4 is half in and half in again. Half of that will be 150, half of that will be 10, and half of that will be 2. And then half of that will be 75, half of that will be 5, and half of that will be 1. So my answer is, well, 75 add, what's that meant to be? It's meant to be a 5, a rubbish 5. 75 by 5 is 80, plus that one, so my answer is 81. Straightforward. 27 times by 6, rather than a full written method, some of us might go, well, actually, I know that 20 times by 6 is 120, and 7 times by 6 is 42. Add them two together, my answer is 162. And then you might get stuff like this, and you might think, well, actually, I know that 240 divided by 8 would be 80, 160, 240. So that would be 30 lots to get me to 240. So it's just another 1 to get me to 248. So my answer is 31. Again, jottings, which I'm expecting to see, but not formal written methods. We're looking for appropriate methods. These ones, I would say we do need formal written methods. So if we've got something like 324 times by 8, so I'm going to times each part of this number by 8. So 8 times 4 gets me 32 tens. No, sorry, 32 ones. Sorry, it would help if I talk properly. 8 times 2 tens is 16 tens, plus those 3, so that's 19 tens. I know we've done a lot of these in the arithmetic test we've done. And then 8 times those 3 hundreds would be 24 hundreds, plus that one, 25 hundreds. So 2,592. Next one, 34 times by 54. Well, I'm going to times that 34 by 4 first, and then I'm going to times that 34 by 50. So timesing it by 4, 4 times 4 is 16 ones, carry my 1. And then 4 times those 3 tens is 12 tens, plus that one. So I've got 13 tens. Then, don't need to worry about that 1 there, because that's going to confuse me a bit. Then I need to times everything by this 50, and it is a 50, it's not a 5. So because it's a 50, I'm going to start in my tens column, so I'll put in my placeholder. So 5 tens times by those 4 tens is 20 tens, carry my 2, 20. 5 tens times by 3 tens is going to be 15 hundreds plus those 2, so 17 hundreds. So then I add those together, don't worry about the 2 because that's to that. 6 ones, 3 tens, 8 hundreds, 1,000s. 1,856. And then finally, this one has got a decimal point in it. Now for me, for me, I don't want to mess around with the decimal number. So I'm going to change it to 324 times by 6, but then I need to remember, I've times it by 10 to get there, so at the end I need to divide it by 10. So 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 2 tens is 12 tens plus those 2, so 14 tens. And then 6 times 3 hundreds is 18 hundreds plus that one, 19 hundreds. But then I need to divide that by 10, so everything's going to move down a column. So it's going to be down 1, 194.4. That's multiplication written methods. Let's have a quick look at division. So if I've got 427 divided by 7, now really, if there's nothing obvious in terms of jumping up, the bus stop method is very much a cheap method, okay? Because it doesn't really help us to understand what we're doing, but it is quick. So, how many 7s go into 4? And there's none. So I'm going to carry that 4 over and make that 42. How many 7s go into 42? Well, it's 6, and I've not got any remainders. So then how many 7s go into 7, and it's 1? My answer is 61. 455 divided by 5. Some of us might have gone, well, actually, 450 would be 90, and it's just one more. So I think I already know my answer is 91, but I can check it. How many 5s go into that 4? And there's none. How many 5s go into that 45? And there's 9 with no remainders. How many 5s go into that is 1. My answer is 91. And then last one on this page, and then there's just one more page to go at. 3,528 divided by 6. So how many 6s go into that 3? As it would just count it as a 3, and it's none, so I carry that over to get to 35. How many 6s go into that 35? Well, there's 5 lots in 30, so then I've got a remainder of 5. How many 6s go into 52? Well, there are 8 lots in 48, so then I've got a remainder of 4. And then how many 6s go into 48? And that's another 8 lots. So my answer is 588. That's when we're dividing by one number, okay? If we are dividing by 2 numbers like in this one, then that's when we need to get to key facts. By the way, if you're only doing ready, I would go to ready now. Stop here and go to ready, but remember your joins. If you're doing steady or go, stick with me, we've only got another minute. So I'm gonna do my key facts box. So I'm gonna count up in lots of 33. So 2 lots of 33 is gonna get me to 66. Is this the last one? Yeah. 4 lots of 33 would be double that. Well, double 60 is 120, double that one is 12, put them together 132. 10 lots would get me to 330. So 5 lots is half of 10, so 5 lots is half of that. Well, half of that is 150, half of that is 15, so it's 165. Then I'm just gonna keep taking away amounts of 33 from 825 until I get there. Now, the biggest one here I've got 350, but that doesn't get me close. However, 66, if I multiplied that by 10 and got 20 lots, then that would be 660 lots. So I'm gonna do that. So 660 lots, which I know is 20 lots, and I need to put this over here, because at the end I'm gonna count up how many lots I've taken away. These with 5 ones, need to exchange there. So take one of those hundreds, change it for 10 tens and put it there. 12 tens take away 6 tens is going to be 6 tens, and I'm left with 100. Then I'm left with 165, which, man, I've done an easy question here, is 5 lots. So my answer, and that gets me to 0, which is what we're trying to get to. I have taken away 25 lots, so my answer is 25. They're going to be on go. Right, let's just disappear. Let me stop sharing for a second. See your 6. I've mentioned this once or twice, but I want to see jottings, and written methods. Do not just show me an answer, because you could have just done that on a calculator. And yeah, that would probably only take you for 5 minutes for the lesson. And if you're the kind of person that would do that, you're probably not even watching this video right now. But if you are thinking about using a calculator, by all means use it to check it at the end. But I want to see your jottings and I want to see your written methods. That's how we get better at this stuff. Okay? Year 6, work hard, and I look forward to seeing your writing while you're working in a bit. Goodbye.